The light is red, the kids are in bed, which means it is time for Mile High Musings with me, Aaron Yowell, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. What's good, sports fans? It's your boy Aaron Yowell, and welcome to episode 71 of Mile High Musings. 50% equals failing. Here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Sorry about the thumbnail graphic if you're checking us live on YouTube. Apparently, my computer forgot how to save files, and I cannot find the original graphic. So I just had to throw one together at the last second. But you know, to err is human. On tonight's episode, you know, it's incredible how most professional sports teams ebb and flow throughout the season, and the ups and downs and the highs and lows are sometimes what both kills us and thrills us as sports fans. The Nuggets sleepwalked their way to a 500 road trip against, let's be honest, mostly subpar competition. The Avs continue to keep trending in the right direction, the flow, as we draw closer to the Four Nations break. And then there's the college teams. CU men's is terrible. The women are mid. CSU men's and women's are both respectable. And those DU Pios got busy scoring a lot of goals this weekend. But before we get to that and all that is good, let us get a message from the network.
For the last 10 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, make sure to check out our daily updated website at iesportsradio.com. At iesportsradio.com, you can see our daily show schedule and check out all of our show pages with personal bios to learn a little bit more about each of our awesome hosts. In addition to our show pages, you can catch the IE Sports Radio blog, Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month page, and our merchandise shop, including t-shirts, tank tops, caps, long sleeves, hoodies, and more. For now over a decade here at IE Sports Radio, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and we thank you all for your support and for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports.
Let's get into the first period of Mile High Musings here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. First period is all about finding their groove. You know, the newest members of the Colorado Avalanche are starting to really find their groove. And honestly, their skill sets are quite a thing to behold. The way that Marty Natchez is able to carry the puck into the zone. Now, I know. We have the privilege, the honor of watching both Nathan MacKinnon and Cale Makar on a nightly basis, and we have for quite some time now. But Marty Natchez is grace and elegance compared to Nathan MacKinnon, who is power and speed. Don't get me wrong, Natchez is wicked fast. But I don't know. It's kind of awesome having three guys that can get it into the zone on their own no matter what. And I really think it's improved the power play, which we're going to talk about in this segment. And then, of course, there's Jack Drury, who is fitting in so nicely in between Ross Colton and Miles Wood. And what's crazy is, yes, we did give up a top 10 NHL player in this trade, but we were able to build some depth. And I got to be honest with you, yes, the wound is still a little raw. However, I'm not missing Mikko Rantanen. I'm not missing Mikko Rantanen. Unfortunately, I think it is a shakeup that our locker room needed and that our roster needed. It shows our guys that no matter what, you have to contribute or you can find yourself out the door. That depth has been awesome because you see, in particular, Parker Kelly, Logan O'Connor, and Yoel Kiviranta come on the ice, and you're thinking, oh, here are the threes, because that's been the third line for most of the year because of the injuries and the lack of depth. But instead, that's the fourth line. And other than realistically one game over the last 2-week stretch, Coach Bednar has been able to run all four lines out there. So you have Kiviranta's line coming on, Parker Kelly's line coming on as the fourth line, which means the Jack Drury, Roscoe, and Woody line is the third line, and they're working really hard. They're not producing any goals, but they're doing what a third line's supposed to do. Now, the fourth line did get a goal in the absolute destruction of St. Louis on Friday night, which we'll talk about here in a second, but it is allowing those top line guys to not have to play 27 minutes a night. For guys like McKinnon and Natchez, like they're only having to play 20 minutes a night. Taryn's in the chat. Taryn says, good evening, Aaron. Have a great show. Thank you, Taryn, as always. Appreciate you. So let's get into it, man. We had 3 games this week, including a matinee today. And it was a weird week. It was a Tuesday, Friday, Sunday week, which was weird because we had been in the rhythm of Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, or Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And yeah, we get a back-to-back here next week, which we're going to talk about in a second, which sucks. But we're going into the Four Nations face-off break, which means the Avalanche should be all gas, no breaks. So Tuesday night, Avs played on Long Island and got beat 5-2. What was crazy is that I didn't think they looked that bad. And all of a sudden, you look up and they couldn't do it. I think the Islanders play a brand of hockey that gives the Avalanche fits. I think that Dallas also plays this brand of hockey. They muddy up the neutral zone. Tuesdays here on the network. Shameless plug. And they also forecheck like a bandit. It was really frustrating. Sorokin also was Sorokin. And it's the second time we've been bodied by the Isles this year. And it's the second time Sorokin's really shut us down. And it's just crazy. Anders Lee broke the scoring 4 minutes in. We're down 1-0. You're like, oh, crap. But good stick like he gets a goal at the 13-minute mark from McKinnon and Marty Natchez. You're like, great. That's second period. We're 1-1 going into the third on the road. It's exactly where we need to be. Nope. The Islanders rip off one within 2 minutes of the beginning of the third period and then another one halfway through the third period. Jack Drury does get a goal late in the third after a weird goalie interference call. And I got to be honest with you, like, I don't know what goalie interference is anymore because Drury got into the crease, didn't look like he really affected Sorokin at all, but didn't. And they call it a goal back. And then later Drury gets a goal to make it 3-2. And then the Isles score with like 2.5 minutes left on the clock to make it 4-2, and then they score an empty netter, and it's 5-2, and all of a sudden, it was just ended up being ugly. So again, goals from Leckie and Jack Drury, assists. Marty Natchez had 2 assists on the night. Mac had 1. Josh Manson had 1. Mackenzie Blackwood takes the loss, 27 shots, 23 saves, 4 goals against, an .852 save percentage. And it's crazy. That was really the worst part of his week. And the box score doesn't do the Avs justice in game one of the week. They didn't actually play that bad. They just put their heads down the wrong direction at the beginning of the third period, and all of a sudden they were down and couldn't get back from it. On Friday night, the Avs finally returned home after that long East Coast road trip. That saw a roster overhaul. So you got to think that Islanders game could have also been the boys are tired. They're emotionally exhausted from the whole Mikko stuff. They need to get home. So they welcome in division rival St. Louis, who is right behind us in the standings. And I say right behind us, but not really. The Avs are 12 points clear of St. Louis. It was a little bit closer at one point. And St. Louis really, really, really ran into a buzzsaw because the Avs were up 4-0 at the end of one. Jonathan Drouin scored about the 5-minute mark to make it 1-0 from Parsonen and Keaton Middleton, his second assist on the year. Marty Necas gets his first goal in an Avs jersey, his 17th of the season from Taser and Arturi Lehkonen. And then Jonathan Drouin broke one of the most important stalemates the Avs had been fighting against, and that was our power play. The power play was unbelievably bad going into the Friday night game against St. Louis, and Drew scored an unassisted power play goal at the 14:43 mark to make it 3-0. And about 2 minutes later, the Avs on the power play again, and who would score? All hail Kale from Nathan MacKinnon, his 60th assist on the season, and Jonathan Drouin. In the second period, nothing happened. And then late in garbage time, Yoel Kiviranta bangs home the Avalanche fifth goal of the game. Avs win going away 5-0. And then that Sunday afternoon hockey I was talking about. Avs welcome the Flyers into Ball Arena today. You know how I feel about matinee games. I hate them. I feel like we never prepare well. We never do work. And luckily, we have Mackenzie Black. Because Blackwood was a brick wall today. No goals in the first, no goals in the third. The only scoring came in the second. The first one from Sam Girard from Middlestat and Jonathan Drouin, making it 1-0 at the 8:33 mark. And then the Avs did the power play thing again. Nathan MacKinnon from Makar and Drouin on the power play, Mac's 20th of the season, giving him, and I have to double check my stat sheet here. I think my stat sheet is wrong. It is. Did I not have today's? Yeah. Mac has 80 points on the year. 80 points. That's insane. Guys at a 1.51 points per game pace, which I'm not even going to try to do on-air math. I'm going to go straight to the calculator. But that puts him on pace for 124 points this season. That's insane. That's insane. And since it's the hockey segment, you know what time it is. It's time for our Seal the Deal Wax Seals 3 stars of the week. Drumroll, please. Your 3rd star of the week. Now, I need you to know that I had this set, and then today's game happened, and I had to change it before the show. But your 3rd star of the week's got to be Marty Necas. 1 goal, 2 assists, and it's the little things he's doing. He's opening up the power play. He's allowing MacKinnon to not always have to carry the puck in on the power play because Necas can do it when they do that stupid slingshot pass, which I hate so much because I think it takes away time. And it's breathed some life into the power play. And your 2nd and 1st stars could really go either way, but I had to give the 2nd star to Jonathan Drouin. 2 goals, 3 assists this week. He is a point-per-game player right now. He was a point-per-game player in the month of January and a point-per-game player in the one game in February. And Drew is absolutely crushing it right now. He's almost exactly a full point-per-game player on the season. He has only played 20 games because of injury, but we love it. And your 1st star of the week, your Seal the Deal Wax Seal 1st star of the week, Mackenzie Blackwood. 2-1. Yeah, he did get the loss this week, but he had back-to-back shutouts. 3rd time in his career he's done that. He had a 950 save percentage and gave up 4. The week ahead looks like this. The Avs are on a Canadian road trip. We have 3 games left before the Four Nations face off. And I think it's going to be some tough sledding. Tuesday at Vancouver, 8 p.m. Mountain Time puck drop. Thursday at Calgary, 7 p.m. Mountain Time puck drop. And then Friday, back-to-back at Edmonton. A game that we owe Edmonton for because they beat us last time we played them. Avs have to be all gas, no breaks going into this break because 3 games in 4 days, and then they're off for like most of the guys are off for a couple weeks. We don't have another game until February 22nd, which is going to be crazy. Now, during the Four Nations face-off, I will be highlighting what the Avalanche representatives are doing during the tournament, but I don't think I'm going to be covering the tournament as a whole. I'd like to because I love hockey, but I'm going to leave that to our show on the network, The Neutral Zone, which you can catch Tuesdays with Adam and Zach. I'm just getting a message over here that it's time for a TV timeout. On the other side, basketball that sure did not feel 1 mile above the rest. You are with Mile High Musings here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hey there, IE Sports Radio fans. Be sure to check out our sponsor, Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch? Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or a friend and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. You can find them on Instagram at sealthedeal_wax stamps and on Facebook, Seal the Deal Wax Seals.
Shout out to Seal the Deal Wax Seals, our hockey segment sponsor and the sponsor of our 3 stars of the week. If you're checking us out live on YouTube right now, thank you so much for being with us. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment down below as always. Smash that thumbs up, get that algorithm going, and slam that bell icon for notifications. If you're with us over on X, repost, baby. Retweet, quote, and repost. Get that thing going. If you're downloading the show later, which I appreciate you, if you're listening to the dulcet tones of my voice going away because it got dry again, apparently, you can check us out on Apple Podcasts, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, all the normal places. Don't forget to leave a 5-star review. It helps the show. It helps the algorithm. Your boy would like to get paid. Anywho, don't forget to follow me. Where's my stuff? Hang on 1 second, fam. What happened? What happened? There it is. Don't forget to follow me over at Big A Yowl over on X. And don't forget to give the show a follow at milehigh_IESR for all of the crazy retweeting that I'm going to be doing all the time. Now, this week was almost really bad. Like I said in the open, the Nuggets sleepwalked their way to a 500 road trip against teams they probably should have waxed the floor with. New York Knicks, maybe not so much, but the Chicago Bulls, sorry, Adam, definitely should have whooped that ass. And they were whooping that ass until they let it get away in the fourth quarter. It's like they thought Chicago was just going to straight up quit. It's really what it felt like at that point. But Nuggets Monday played at Chicago, 129-121 loss. Played Wednesday, New York, 122-112 loss. And then had a back-to-back at Philly, at Charlotte on Friday and Saturday, 137-134 win at Philly. as I said last week, don't call it a rivalry. And Saturday, a 107-104 win at Charlotte. Both of those games were too squeaky bum for my liking. Let's go back to the Monday night game and break down some stuff. Nuggets were in control throughout the third and then kind of give it up at the end of the third quarter before, they went into the fourth tied before the Bulls just pulled away. I got to be honest with you, the Bulls shot almost lights out from three. They shot 45% from three, and the Nuggets shot 22%. That's a big deal. Also, the Nuggets got beat on the glass. Another big deal. It's incredibly frustrating. I went to team stats instead of box score. Dumb. MPJ had 18, Jokic 13, 12, and 14. Jokic doing Jokic things. Russ had 14, Jamal had 18, and CB had 28, a career high 28. We only got 10 points off the bench and 0 from Julian Strawther. That hurts. That hurts a lot. That's one of the reasons we lost, is because we went to playoff rotation and Julian did not contribute. Wednesday at the Garden, Jamal went off for 33, but not a lot of help anywhere else. They moved CB to the bench after his career high night, which I don't necessarily agree with. They put AG back in the starting lineup because I feel like the Nuggets felt like they were missing some physicality. As I mentioned on the show a couple weeks ago, it's why they got it handed to them by Minnesota. Now, AG started, played 30 minutes, scored 15 points, grabbed 6 rebounds. Not bad for a guy who's been on incredible minutes restrictions and is working his way back in. MPJ had 9. That's terrible. He was a minus 10. It's not going to get it done. Jokic, 17, 6, and 6. Probably the worst game of the season for Jokic. And he didn't look super interested. And there's this theory that goes around Nuggets media members that Jokic every January, end of January, says, and gets tired or gets seasonal affective disorder or something. So it used to be way worse. He used to have games like this in January consistently, and it kind of looked like he'd grown out of it. Wednesday against the Knicks was that. 17, 6, and 6. Not his normal. Russ had 14, 14, and 4, and Jamal finished with 33. Christian, 13 off the bench. Again, Christian coming off the bench. I don't really love. 4 from Peyton, 2 from DeAndre, and 5 from Julian. So Nuggets started the week 0-2, and it didn't feel like they were interested in winning any games because Nuggets were up 73-69 at halftime of the Philly game on Friday, and then up in the third quarter by 2, by 4, and then almost up by 3, and then almost pissed it away. Straight up almost pissed it away. I think it was just close from the beginning, and that is frustrating in and of itself. Tyrese Maxey and Gershon Yabusele were going bananas. So was Kelly Oubre Jr. Yabusele had 28 for the Sixers. Maxey had 42, and Oubre had 27. That's insane. Insane. Nuggets did get the win, though. AG with 11, MPJ with 24. Much better, Mike. Yoke with 28, 9, and 13. Jamal with 31. Russ only had 4 and did leave the game hurt. So something to note. CB, 15 off the bench. Julian, 18 off the bench in 19 minutes. Much better, Julian. And Peyton, 6 off the bench. Peyton also was hurt in this game. And both Russ and Peyton did not end up playing at the end of the week. Very tragic. I got to be honest with you, it was very frustrating to see the Nuggets kind of play with their food against Philly. And it's something that the Nuggets have been known for, I think, the last 2 seasons. Last year, I feel like they played with their food a lot, and this year I feel like they're doing it way too much. Larry B says, I love this title. Are you talking about the show title? Because as a teacher, you would appreciate the reminder that 50% equals an F for sure. Larry B, by the way, happy belated birthday, my dude. It's Larry B's birthday weekend. So shout out to our guy, Larry B, who's 22, 23 this week? Come on, Larry B. Anyways, Nuggets playing with their food. And it was just scary because a lot of people want to see the Nuggets win 40 before they lose 20. And this weekend, we almost got to those 20 losses right then and there. The cough is back. I don't know. It just happened all of a sudden tonight. So finally, Nuggets in the week, Saturday in Charlotte. The last thing to note about that Philly game is that when it got close, Jokic finally said, no, I'm not doing this. Jokic scored 13 points, quote, in the clutch against Philadelphia. Jokic doing Jokic things. Yeah, he finished with a Sombor double, 1 assist short of a triple-double, but he took over when he needed to. And thank God for us having the best player on the planet. Plain and simple. So Saturday at Charlotte, Nuggets were up 54-46 at halftime. Nuggets were up going into the third quarter. And then Charlotte came out on like a 9-0 run to start the third. We got the fourth. It was a rage timeout from Michael Malone. And I guess it was about halfway through the fourth quarter. Charlotte made that run, but it was ugly. Jokic racked up his 22nd triple-double of the season in this one. AG had 6 in 30 minutes. Not great. MPJ had 15. Shot the ball not great. 0 for 6 from 3. Big thing for Mike there. Jokic, 28, 12, and 13. 28, 13, and 17 assists. Jamal had 20 and CB back in the lineup, the original starting 5 from the year because Russ was hurt. And he scored 24 points in 38 minutes. CB doing CB things. CB had a 28-point and a 24-point game this week. If the most improved player award in the NBA wasn't a popularity contest or an agenda pushing contest, CB should actually win it. If you go back and look at the stats, it should be Christian Brown who wins the most improved player this year. They're probably going to go to like Cade Cunningham or something like that, but it should be CB. And I'm a homer, but we should go look at the numbers. I don't have them pulled up, and I'm not going to waste time to do it because nobody wants to see me scrolling on the internet live on air or hearing me scroll on the internet if you've downloaded this. We went 8 deep again. Playoff, not really a playoff rotation because Russ was out, P-Watt was out. So Zeke Naji got 22 minutes. What? Zeke, 6 points, 5 blocks, and the DPOG chain afterwards. Jalen Pickett had 15 minutes, got 3 points, and Julian 5 points in 24 minutes. The Nuggets, boys and girls, 30-19 right now, 6-4 in their last 10. Currently sitting 4th in the West with those rat bastard cheating Lakers right behind us. I don't even want to get into it. I don't want to go there. If my SoCal boys logged on to hear me go there about this trade, I'm not that show. Hopefully you listened to Fast Break earlier tonight because that ain't me. Nuggets are sitting 4th in the West, 1 game clear of the Lakers, 2 games clear of the Clippers for the 5 and 6, 2.5 back of both Memphis and Houston. Now, the Nuggets have an opportunity to make hay this week, and I think that the wake-up calls that they got on the road should improve that. But before I go there, I got to ask, are the Nuggets going to make a move? Seeing Luka move to LA, I think that spells doom for the Mavericks. I'm going to talk about it. I'm sorry, I lied. I think that spells doom for the Mavericks. I think that's a quality move for the Lakers, but we'll see because both LeBron and Luka are going to want to touch that ball. Taryn just said, LOL, the Lakers want the 4 spot. Bro, the Lakers can have the 4 spot. The Nuggets want the 2 spot. And Taryn also said, or at the very least to avoid you all. Yeah, the Lakers are 1-8 in their last 9 against the Nuggets. So they actually don't want the smoke, regardless of what anybody says. They really don't want smoke. So the Nuggets don't give a shit about the 4 spot. Sorry. They want the 2 spot, at least. I don't think they're going to catch OKC. OKC's defense is too good this year. Nuggets defense is terrible this year, and they have to get that fixed soon. They have to get it fixed soon. So the Nuggets going to make a move? I think they have to. I was talking to my brother-in-law about it today, who unfortunately is a Lakers fan. He's from St. Louis, and they don't have an NBA team, so he just liked LeBron. There's forgiveness in the eyes of the Lord, for sure. But I told him that the Nuggets need a 3-and-D guy. They need a guy who's going to shoot the three-pointer and who's going to defend. They have half that Michael Porter Jr. Michael Porter Jr. is not a good defender. He's a defensive liability for the most part and an offensive juggernaut. Christian Brown is a defensive king and an offensive one-trick pony. Go to the hole. He is shooting better this year. See my last rant about the most improved player. It is, however, just very apparent to me that the Nuggets need a 3-and-D guy. We have been without AG for a lot this year. So we're missing our defensive length, and I think he's still getting his legs underneath him, which it looks to me like he's hesitant to bang and be physical, which is what he was so good at in the championship run. It was what he was so good at last year. And it's what we have been lacking in games like the Knicks game this week, in games like the Timberwolves games from a couple weeks ago. When the Nuggets are hit in the mouth, they don't respond well. And they need a defensive guy. I would love to have Jaden McDaniels. I would love to have somebody like Josh Hart. I would love to have length on the perimeter that is going to get up in your jock and is going to make you uncomfortable handling the ball. I want that. KCP was that, but I still don't think we're missing him the way that Christian Brown has played. I think it's the small forward position. And I got to be honest with you, if we can move, I said don't trade Michael Porter Jr., and now I'm looking at the landscape of the NBA. If we can move Mike and get a guaranteed defender, we'll be fine, because I'm sick of the Nuggets having to win games 137-134. It's really just, it's terrible. It's not what I'm here for at all. Anyway, we're going to take a break. Coach is calling timeout. Oh, wait, no, I'm not. We're not. Hold on. He pulled it back. Your Vital Apparel Vital Performance of the Week goes to Nikola Jokic. Not his best game of the week statistically, but 28 points, 13 rebounds, 9 assists against Philly, 13 points in the clutch, as I said, and basically said, no, we're not losing to these clowns. Quit calling it a rivalry. The Nuggets this week, as I mentioned, can make hay. Monday and Wednesday, a weird home and home. We play home twice. We had this against Memphis and Dallas already, where we played at Memphis, at Dallas, at Dallas. Now we have New Orleans home twice, Monday and Wednesday, Thursday, Orlando at home, and then Saturday at Phoenix. So the Nuggets have an opportunity to win 4 in a row, which means they would be on a 6-game win streak, and they would be 8-2 in their last 10. Currently, they're 6-4 in their last 10. They've got to start making up some ground. They've got to start playing defense, because it's what's going to be our Achilles heel in the playoffs, because we won't get out of the first round playing defense like this. There's nothing in my heart that tells me we're going to get out of the first round play defense like this. Now we're going to take a timeout. Coach is calling. He actually wants a full. Coach wants a full. On the other side, let's go back to college. You are with Mile High Musings here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Rise and shine. It's 4 a.m. The stars are still out. The sun is beneath the horizon, but it's time to punch in and go to work. The comfort of your warm-ups turns into the grinding out of your reps as the clinking and the clanking of the plates create a symphony of euphoria. There's no other feeling like it. Earn it, burn it, and take what's yours. IE Sports Radio has proudly partnered with Vital Apparel, a brand that not only fits great, but also promotes and donates to mental health research. Use our code IESR to get 15% off their comfortable and inspiring gym wear and help them on their amazing journey to support mental health. Go hard, take part in your iron therapy, and be strong. Because when your mental health is as strong as you are, there's no telling how far you'll go.
IE Sports Radio fans, This show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, Single A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
All right, let's get into the third period of Mile High Musings here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Again, shout outs to Larry B and Taryn for always being in the chat. My guys are always on the show and always interacting. Love it. Love that. Love my AFC West boys, my SoCal boys getting in here. Broncos, real quick before we get on, this is going to be our last segment. Two reasons. One, we don't have a lot going on in the state right now. And two, yes, I'm losing my voice. I didn't see it coming, but I am going to wrap this up here pretty quick. Broncos, the three Broncos were our three Pro Bowl participants, were active this weekend. Pat Surtain, Marvin Mims Jr., and Nick Benito. If you didn't see over on X, they strapped a GoPro to Marv during some of the activity, and it was really stinking cool. The other thing, I guess, it's not really a Broncos thing, but I'm going to make it a Broncos thing. Marshall Manning, son of Eli Manning, was throwing dimes in warm-ups, and somebody tweeted over on X, it's crazy to think that the Broncos will seamlessly transition from Bo Nix to Marshall Manning. And I laugh because I wish, but also like we'd have to be really bad at the end of Bo's career to have a shot at Marshall Manning, I think. But that's also saying that an 7th, 8th grader right now is going to be the face of our franchise in, 10, 15 years. That's not really what I'm looking for. I want Bo Nix to be the man. NFL awards are on Thursday. Hopefully, PS2 is going to go ahead and lock up that DPOY. And it's nice to see that Sean Payton and Bo Nix are finalists for AP Coach of the Year and AP Offensive Rookie of the Year, respectively. So, shout out to the Broncos. Got it going on. It's sad when I say we've got nothing going on in the Rocky season is pitchers and catchers are reporting soon. And we're going to have to do some deep dive research before we get even remotely excited about the Rockies. The fact that the Monforts are still in charge as an ownership group makes me not excited whatsoever for baseball. Also, the Rapids are getting going. They started their preseason training schedule, which should be interesting. The Bassett brothers look good in training. We're going to do an extended segment, hopefully, if we have our voice. Not next weekend, but the following weekend. Next weekend, Super Bowl Sunday. Your boy is going to be on the IE Sports Radio, USNL Super Bowl kickoff show, the pregame show. I have an hour scheduled for an hour segment there. And unfortunately, I have to talk about our hated Chiefs, but I'll try to make it as awesome as I can. And I will try not to slander their name because I want to be an objective sports reporter. I always tell you that I'm here to bring you objective takes. And so we'll be on sorry, thank you for correcting me, Taryn. USRN, I said NL, RN, United States Radio Network, US Radio Network. Thank you, Taryn, for correcting me and helping me be better. We're going to be on that show, so we will not have our regularly scheduled show at 8 Mountain. We are going to take a week off the regular show, which will be great because then we're going to roll into Four Nations face-off. So we'll recap the Avs last week here in a couple of weeks, and then we'll highlight what's going on in the Four Nations. And we've got college to talk about, so let's get on that campus crawl. Shall we? As I said in the open, the CU men's team is terrible. It's crazy because the Buffs started the season 9-2, including a win over defending national champions UConn. And now they've lost 10 straight. CU had 2 games this week, Tuesday, a 70-68 loss versus Arizona State at Boulder. And then yesterday, a 68-57 loss at TCU, which means sorry, I got distracted by chat. The Buffs are now 9-12 overall, 0-10 in the Big 12, and they have lost 10 in a row. Taryn said, I look forward to next week because next week us Chargers, Broncos, and Raiders fans are Eagles fans. Yes, we are, and it's going to be really hard to watch that game. I got to be honest with you. It really is. Also, hear me and understand me, fan base. I realized this about the national championship game. I straight up missed it. It was a Monday night. It was Martin Luther King Day. The kids were off from school. My wife and I were off from school. We were doing things, trying to keep the girls occupied. And I was in here, like working on stuff in the studio. And I looked up and it was the third quarter. And I went, huh. Oh. And I looked at the score. And that was it. 15 years ago, I wouldn't have missed that. 10 years ago, maybe. I wouldn't have missed that game for anything. And this year, it was a passing thought. Part of that was because of I didn't have a dog in the fight. And this year, it's not like I don't care about the Super Bowl. It's going to be a talking point at work for sure. But I don't have a dog in the fight. I don't like rooting for a team to lose. That feels oogie inside me as much as I hate the Chiefs. And we have a 2-year-old. She goes to bed at like 6:30, 7 o'clock on Sundays, especially 7 at 7:15 at the latest. And so the game's going to kick off at 5:30, 6 o'clock. We're going to we start the bedtime routine at 6 after dinner. It's going to be a passing thought. Again, I've had years where I wouldn't miss this for the world, no matter who was playing. It's crazy how family changes things for you. I'm very excited to do the pregame show. I will keep an eye on it. I don't know that it's must-see TV for me. I don't know that it is. But it is what it is. Anyways, CU men's are terrible. God awful. They're just terrible. And I wonder how much longer Ted Boyle keeps his job. I told you all that it was going to be tough sledding for the Buffs in the Big 12. The Pac-12, this most recent iteration of the Pac-12 was not a great basketball conference. Overall, the Big 12 is consistently a good basketball conference, especially at the top end. And adding a team like Arizona with CU just makes it even harder. It makes it even more difficult to be successful. CU women's mid. I think they're mid. I said that in the open too. They won at BYU 67-66 this week on Wednesday and won versus Texas Tech 67-51. So a little BTA. The women have moved to 15-6 overall and 6-4 in the Big 12. And they're literally dead in the middle of the table as far as the Big 12 women's standings are concerned. Now, the noisy neighbors to the north, little brother there, CU men's had one game this week. Won 79-58, big old win versus Air Force. They moved to 14-7 overall, 8-2 in the Mountain West. They're sitting in third. They're a game and a half back at first. Rams are looking good. And the Rams looked good last year too, which they deserve it. They're putting things together. Putting some things together, and it's great. CSU women's also having a good year, but they lost this week. 75-71 versus Air Force yesterday. That moves them to 15-7 overall and 6-3 in the Mountain West. It's crazy. The hiccups. Oh my gosh, what a terrible thing to get on a radio show. Basketball in the state was always CU. Actually, everything was kind of always CU. And then you have a few swings, but it stayed with CU. And then these last 2 years, CSU basketball is better. And I think it's great for the state. I think it's great for recruiting. As a predominantly CU fan, it sucks, but it is what it is. Again, don't have a dog in the fight. Just reporting on all of it because notoriety across the board in the state makes our state look better, which I am all here for. Do I want the Buffs to win it? Yeah, sure. It's like football. My life is better when CU football is relevant. Finally, we're going to wrap this up here because the voice is going. DU Pios hosted Omaha this week. Omaha leads the NCHC, the conference, the North Central Hockey Conference that DU plays in. And Friday, they played to a 3-3 tie with Omaha. And then yesterday, DU took them to the woodshed, scoring 11. 11, E-L-E-V-E-N, 11 goals and only giving up 2. That's big time. That's a big old butt whooping. DU's 5th in the NCHC, and also they are still currently ranked 5th in the nation. DU just has to be within striking distance. I think I said that last week. They just have to be within striking distance before the Frozen, like they have to be in the Frozen Four. That's going to do it for us this week, though. Thanks to everybody who was in the chat. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to get out of here before I lose my voice. Don't forget, not a regular show next week. I will be on the Super Bowl pregame show with USRN and IE Sports Radio. Check that out. I will be tweeting out the exact schedule as we finalize some things this week and as I remember what it is. But as a teacher, I am busy. So shout out to Larry B. Taryn, everybody, big fat Mile High salute, and as always, big good sports fans.
Go Broncos!
In this house, we praise the Lord and cheer for them Denver Broncos.